too, as far as I'm aware. So then I like play board games sometimes. Depending on the board game, I don't like Monopoly sometimes. But I like other games like Sorry, Checkers. I like Uno. That's not a card. That is a card game, but it's not a board game. But I like Uno. I like those. Even though I've never played those, but I want to play those. I like Dog Uno. I'm just saying Uno now, ain't I? I like Goldfish. I like Trash. I don't mean I actually like Trash. I mean it's a card game called Trash. I don't like Mal. Mal is a horrible game. You should never play Mal. You don't know the rules until you play the game, and when you play the game, you don't know the rules. But then after you play the game, you learn the rules, but then the rules get confusing because you hear that the rules can be changed at any time. I was thinking about, why is it named after me? Because I thought the name of the game was Mal. M-A-L-L. That's the M-A-L-L. That's Mal. No, I thought it was spelled M-A-L. Like Mal. Like the first part of my name. Like Malfunction. Actually, that's the only way I know that starts with Mal and then Malachi. There are some of the words I could think about if I really thought hard every day, every night. But then I can't think about what like this at the very moment. So I think about Mal is just the name of the game, because Mal means bad, so that's why it's called bad. People don't like the game, because they always catch an energy, you never know the name of the game, because you never know the words. Every single word. The thing I think about is not even spelled Mal like I thought it was. It's spelled M-A-U. Not spelled M-A-L. I'm just dumb like that sometimes. But then I think about I should really say that I'm dumb because that's claiming a curse on my life and I'm the Jesus. I'm like with Jesus. I'm like, hey Jesus, I'm not gonna claim on my life. So what's that power? You should learn that. What's that power? What's that power? So I think this is really great because I go around the world every day, every night, write comic books, write play video games. I always say all that, but I like playing lightsaber fights. I like drawing lightsabers. I like think about things that most people don't even think about. Shower thoughts, everything, every world, every night. But let me tell you some jokes. Because I really like jokes. They're not good jokes, but they're jokes. What does the cat say when it gets hurt? Meow. What's the one English word a dog can say? Woof. What does Barley drink when he drinks water? What kind of water does Barley drink anyways? He drinks just the basics, basically. It's a wild bar company. You probably don't know about it. It's a whip-hop band, but it's a nice brand anyways. But then I think about my whistle. The really nice whistle that I made one time was really nice. On that night, I was really loopy, and I was thinking about, hey, I want to make this whistle. Most people don't understand it because they say it's not smart or anything, but I say it's nice. But nobody ever told the whistle, I've told millions of people this whistle, and they never figure out until I tell them the answer. But I'll let that explain a lot of times. So here's the whistle. There was a guy that once lived in a big blue house. Everything in his house was blue, and he was blue himself. Everything that was in the house was blue, and he was nice, and everything that was in the blue house was amazing. But then you look outside, it would be sad, 'cause nothing but the sky and water was blue. But then he thought about, if everything and everyone wasn't blue by the next day, he would kill himself. So then a genie appeared, and he said he would give you one wish. So he wished that everything would be blue. Next day he looked outside and everything was blue, and he was great. But then he goes and kills himself. Why? But then what do you think about it? During the entire quote, it says that if he didn't get his wish, that was everyone was blue by the next day, he would kill himself. Well, here's the thing. He got one wish. So he wished that everything would be blue. He got half his wish because he also wanted to wish that everyone would be blue because people aren't things. So he wished that everything, not everyone. Because animals are things, but people aren't things. So he wished that everything would be blue. But that doesn't mean people are blue. So he looked outside and people aren't blue. So he gets sad and kills himself because he got half his wish. He got to get that wish. I know it's a confusion Widow, and people think that Widow doesn't make sense because you think, well, everything means everyone too. Well, that's what you think about because people aren't things. Think about, what about animals then? Animals aren't things. And the way they are. You say, what is that thing? That's an animal. That's a sheep. Well, you think about it, but animal is a thing. No, animal is a thing. So you can't say animal's not a thing because you look at a thing and you say, hey, that's a sheep. You don't look at a person and say, hey, what's that thing? You say, no, that's a person. That's not a thing. That's a person. There's a difference. But then you go around in outer space and you see aliens. Do you love those things? Because aliens, they're not animals or things. Or they're like people you just call it aliens, or they're things. Or aliens even the popular name. Do they have different species named like Martian and Jupiterian? Jupiterian? I was going to call aliens from Jupiter. But then you go back in the past years and you see all these people that aliens that are supposed to be that said they've farmed to the world. Crazy. We have people that say they've time traveled. Many weird things happen in the world, I like to say. I mean, we can't forget about how if I say that the world ended in 2012 and that we was just living a dream, and this is the rest of our lives, we see end of our lives. This is our life flashing before our eyes, and that this seems like it's going slow, but it's really not going slow. But then I think about. I really do think about. I think about dreams. Really good dreams. So let's say that dreams can only be up to 10 minutes long. That our dreams are never longer than 10 minutes. But then I really think about it because I'm thinking about, well, are my dreams longer than 10 minutes? Because I tell you a dream. I even leave out all the big details if I really want to really badly. So I think about all my dreams I ever had every day, every night. I think about it really badly, and everything goes around like about 10 hours. But I think about because we don't really sleep in 10 hours, so I think about maybe 3 hours. It just seems like 10 hours because I'm telling a long story. But think about it, because my dreams are so weird, everything that ever happened is sort of weird, everything in my dreams don't make sense. Some things that would make sense don't make sense. Some things that in the dream that don't make sense in real life. Like I remember one time I had a dream about my sister. She had a face mask and she was outside with a face mask made out of glass. You can't even have a face mask made out of glass probably. It'd probably be very, very fragile. Probably. But the other thing about you have a dream maybe about like the hardest material. You think it's diamond or bedrock. Maybe it's obsidian. Nah, obsidian's not that hard. Well, no, it's not. The thing about you play Minecraft. Minecraft's not that big. It's not realistic in any sort of way. You can fly for shit's sake. But you play the game and you see that you have diamond armor. You think about it. Can you really melt diamond with a certain amount of heat? You could melt diamond, but you can't find that heat anywhere. So you can't melt diamond unless you hit the sun, which then you would burn up and if it melted, maybe there'd be nothing left. But the other thing about it, I think about the sun exploded and it explodes into a black hole. They say it even exploded when it turned into a black hole, but we did turn black hole when the sun was up. If the sun was up, we would still be alive, when the earth died, when everything died. But we would still be there in the end, every night, every day. I think about heaven. I've always said heaven towards the beginning of this rap, but then I think about it. It's definitely a cloud land. Is the ground made out of clouds? Or is it grass? Really green grass. Grass that can never be green. But then I think about, what grass isn't green? What is the color that we never discovered before? Because there's different colors around the world every day, every night. If we think about different colors that we never discovered. But then we think about, we can't discover those colors because we haven't been around a different sun before. Because every different sun has different colors that we see every night, every day, because we want to see those different colors. And when we go back to our world and to our sun, we would think about those colors and we see those colors as they should be. But then we try to color them and we can't color those colors because those colors turn into different colors when we look at our sun. Because the sun creates the color, so does that mean the sun's really white? Because we go to space and see the sun's really white. But then when we go to space and we see the sun is still yellow. Why is the sun still yellow when we go to space? Because there's no color there, technically, ever. But then there is color, because black and white, gray, and everything, those colors are colors in a way. Technically, Jupiter's orange. Wait, Jupiter's orange? If Jupiter's orange, then how is it orange? We look at outer space, we see Jupiter, it's orange. But then we look at Jupiter and we're like, hey, how is that orange if the sun isn't, if we're not in the atmosphere with the sun shining on us? So we think about, maybe color isn't made by the sun. Maybe we're all warm, maybe science isn't a real thing. But then we look at Mars, a red planet, and we think about Mars, is it really red? Because you go on Mars, it's really more of an orange color, and you think about, maybe we should go on the orange planet. But then there are more orange planets. But if you think about Pluto. It looks blue from the outside, but then you go on the planet. It probably isn't blue. It probably is white like the moon. But if you think about it, Pluto is no planet. People say Pluto is a planet, so a planet because it's not the size of a full planet. But if you think about it, it's everything that full planet has, just instead it's smaller. There's a planet that you really do need to decide the size and everything. The moon is a certain thing that orbits around the moon on the planet. Pluto doesn't orbit around anything but the sun. So when you think about Pluto, should be a planet because it has everything that makes a planet, just says it's not as big as a planet. I guess you could say this is bigger than some of its moons, like smaller than some moons, and it's bigger than some moons, so you can't really say it's really not a planet. But then I think about whether those moons are planets, so you can't really say what's a moon and what's not a moon. So you can't really say what's a dark planet and not a dark planet. So you can't really say if the planet is what size it can be, if it's a planet or not. You can't really decide anything with those plates. Here's what I'm thinking about. The sun is revolving around something. We are revolving around something. The sun is also revolving around something. So what is the sun revolving around? There's a big area. And the sun's in the middle, if you think about it. But it's really not in the middle, because there's a little centimeter off the middle that the sun opens around. Where the sun opens around, it's a physical alien position that makes the sun move. Where the spaceship went away, but will the sun move around still? We will still move around, but the sun will move around. I don't think it will, because the sun doesn't need to move for any reason. I don't think we even know why the sun even moves. Think about the planet. I don't remember the name of the planet, but there's a planet that's right beside the sun that is so hot that you can't even live on it. But it is that planet. How does the planet even survive the sun? How does that even survive the sun? But the other thing about that planet, the planet that wins diamonds. I don't know the name of the planet, but the planet wins diamonds and it's so cool and everything. The sun, sorry, I just had to do that. It was cool. Because I think doing that one thing is really cool. I should do it every day and every night because they think that and it's really cool. I keep saying every day and every night because it sounds really cool when we wrap that part. Ooh, it sounds cool when we wrap that part. As long as we say things because they sound cooler when we say them, we say them. But it doesn't sound cool there because it didn't really flow right. But they never talk about space. I'm tired of talking about space. Let's talk about tie-dye rainbows. So there's no such thing as a triple rainbow. Because you look at the double rainbow, that's what we replace with no rainbow. Can you have a triple rainbow though? Because is it even possible to have more than one reflection? Because double rainbow is not two rainbows. It's just one rainbow reflecting off another thing that makes two rainbows appear. But really, can you have a triple rainbow? Because triple rainbow would be a rainbow reflecting off a rainbow that's reflecting off another rainbow. So you think that'd be really cool if we could have a triple rainbow? Is that even possible? I would look it up one time and said it is possible. But then I think about woods. Really cool woods. If I get on the woods, let's talk about tie-dye. Is tie-dye color or is it pattern? Pattern means red, blue, green, blah, blah. I can really say patterns really fast or rapping in form, but I think it'd be really cool if I could. Yeah, I think I should try it again. Green, blue, blah. And that makes me think about, what about shower thoughts? I like shower thoughts. I don't know why I'm thinking about shower thoughts out of nowhere. I'm not even talking about the wood thing even more, but I'm thinking about shower thoughts now. Let's talk about shower thoughts. Okay, so you go around and you think about shower thoughts. Think about Toy Story. The dog toys in Toy Story, you never hear about them because they're living a horrible life. They're being tortured. They're being tortured by dogs. And think about it, I feel sorry for those toys. The entire purpose was to be killed by dogs. So I think about how do toys even come to life? It's a reaction that they just play dead. It's a reaction, it's just like a certain movement. But how did Buzz Lightyear play toy when Andy came in the room and he didn't think it was a toy? It's just a thing that you don't even know when that happens to you. But then you can break out of it. Because Woody did to that person. They don't even know the name of him. He has a skull and shirt. By the way, that guy's a trash can man now, so he's a great big guy, great day. I think that, Andy should have been, well, he kind of was in, but I think he should have been more in Toy Story 4, because even though he's not the owner of them, he should put like a little reference to his face, so and then you should be seeing him in the background at some point. We see all the characters, Disney characters come together. It's really great. But you think, does that mean every Disney World comes together because you see people from Monsters Inc. coming into Toy Story? Does that mean everybody's connected in a certain way and day? So it's really questionable. It really is questionable. But then you think about it, it's happens to me other things like Mario Sonic. Mario Sonic come around and play the Olympic Games, but think about it, do they ever come around the same way anytime, every day? Do they have something like humans and Sonic come around at a certain time of year? Does the same Mario? Do they live in the same franchise, kind of? But then think about it, I think about Donkey Kong. So I call him Mario Killer or a Donkey Kong character, because he has his own franchise, he's been around longer than Mario every day, every night. So should he be his own franchise, or should he be a Mario character, or should he be a Donkey Kong character? What should he be? But I think about Sonic. Sonic's backstory is kind of weird. So here's the backstory of how the animal waste became anamorphic animal waste. And don't say I made this up because I didn't make this up. I read this off the internet so you can believe it. Well, you don't have to believe it. It could be made up, but I just read it off the internet, so don't blame me of lying because I read it off the internet. So I didn't read it off Reddit because I know Russell was saying I read it off Reddit, but I didn't read it off Reddit. I read it off the internet as a YouTuber. I read it off the website, and it said it was for a single. I don't know if it was for a single. But let's talk about it. I played it one day and every night and around the world, 2,000 years ago, alien race came around the world, around Mobius, and they said, hey, you know what, I want to kill every human race in this planet. So you think about it, because the Sonic world and the human world was once one world every day, every night. But you think about it, there was no way that animals were in that world. Think that humans would have to be taken with the animals to this separate universe on Mobius. And there's no way that the animals just died out one day. They would survive somehow in some ways every day. So they survive out, and the aliens come around, they think about, we want to abduct these humans. So instead of abducting them, they turn them into liquid stuff. They try to kill them, and when they kill them, they turn into liquid stuff, this acid stuff that can fuse the items. But the human's still alive inside, so he can move around. And the animals come around, they need to drink the stuff, and they fuse with the humans, and they turn anamorphic animals. And that's how Sonic and the Elephants came together, so the human race is really bad. But the thing about it, it's not that animal really a bad guy, because he wants to get rid of all these animals, because he thinks it's a disgrace. Because he thinks it's a disgrace because they took away all his fans from animals every day, every night. So you think about it, and this is really bad. You don't know the history. You only thought the anime knows the history. Because has he been around that long? Who knows? For some reason, when I'm 15 years old, maybe 16, maybe 17, who really knows? Who really